Hey, awesome friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we got a very special guest. Mr. Sonny McSunnerson is here for treats. Do you want treats? These are his favorite. If you want to send him a bag, let me know. Temptations, please sponsor me. This guy's gonna make me go broke. You want somebody? Can I get a high paw? Oh, good job, buddy. There was a long time where he wasn't interested on coming back up here, and it seems like recently he's taken an interest again, so he might be in more videos in the near future. How's it going, sir? There we go. Yeah, you gotta let me shake, don't just touch and run. Can I get a high paw again? High paw. High paw. Sonny, I'll give you another treat. Paw. Oh, good job, buddy. Okay, we're gonna do a few of them. So today we're actually doing something a little bit different, not like a full-blown review. We're actually just gonna go over sound impressions. So this is gonna be like, I guess most reviewers, how they just focus on how a set sounds, which I'm not a big fan of personally. I feel like there's more to a set than just the sound. And I feel like there's more people that are buying, you know, a product, not like us that are buying endless amount of sets for just sound and chasing that sound. Most people just, you know, use the same pair of earphones. I know, shocking, right? That's so weird. But today we're looking at this guy. This is the Scarlet Mini from FatFreq. I signed up for a tour on HeadFi. I think it's actually from FatFreq themselves that they're just touring one of their sets. So thank you, FatFreq, for letting me be a part of the tour. Really nice of you to, you know, let somebody like me with a new HeadFi account just be like, hey, yo, I want to be a part of this tour. And they're like, why not? Send it to the guy that nobody knows. I appreciate it. Well, Sonny's gone already. Alrighty. So this was my very first FatFreq set that I got to try. So that was very exciting. One of my friends has the Grand Maestro. I'm never sure on how I pronounce some stuff sometimes, but he has their GM, as he calls it, and loves it. I'll probably never get to try that set. It's expensive, and I wouldn't ask anybody to let me borrow it. But I've always been curious about FatFreq. I hear a lot about their bass, you know, mostly, and that their sets usually have pretty good mids. So I was excited to try this set out, and I'm going to tell you about my sound impressions of it. So I got my notes here. Sonny's gone. The set's here. Camera's on. We're rolling. All good. Let's get started. So first, let's start with a little bit of graph sniffing. So I was already getting ready to record this when I realized I hadn't even measured this set yet, or I did measure it, didn't save the measurements, didn't want to sit up and measure everything. So we're going to steal Timmy's graph. So here is Timmy's graph. Make sure you go to one of his videos or ping him on Discord. He loves getting pinged. Like if you just at Timmy in his Discord server, just do it a bunch of times. It'll be fine. Trust me. And let him know that we're thankful for him letting us borrow his graph. So go ahead and take a look at that graph right now. Big whiff, because I have to give it back after the video's done. So take a big whiff. And do you guys see how far up that line goes on this side? This side. You guys see how far up there goes? Man, that shit's insane. Oh, maybe I shouldn't say bad words, right? If you're going to make assumptions based on a graph, this set is actually pretty close actually to how it graphs. It comes off as just like, probably because it is so exaggerated in the sub bass, it comes off almost neutral in the rest of the sound frequency, and it just has a lot of sub bass. It is a lot of sub bass. Like whatever you are imagining right now, just add more. It is a lot of sub bass. It is 1994 Honda Civic Coupe, like LX or whatever it used to be, EX, whatever. The most base model Honda Civic Coupe with like a 30-inch swap meet subwoofer in the back bass, like that. It is mostly sub bass focus. There is a lot of rumble. The rumble itself is not like other sub bass presentations I usually get when dealing with like bassy iems. It's not like fluffy and uncontrolled. It is pretty controlled. It has good rumble. The ripples within the bass, you know, they have manners. They're not crazy, but it also comes off as a little bit one-dimensional. So bass overall, it's like a lot of sub bass. It rumbles, you feel it. It's like just in the back of your brain, just constantly brrr. It drowns out the rest of the frequency response just a bit, which is something I didn't like. So overall, the sound comes off as kind of dull or just veiled in the mids and in the treble. Even though on their own, like if you just take away the sub bass, it's not bad. It's actually not bad. Mid bass is not as present. Obviously, it is a full sound. Like there is no weight. It has a little bit of, you know, that substance. But what's really weird is even though it's, you know, a lot of sub bass, a lot of mid bass, even though the mid bass doesn't come across that way, the viscosity of the sound is not as much as you would think. It's not heavy. It's not sluggish. So I think that helps it still keep, you know, a well-controlled presentation where it's still pretty clean. I mean, as clean as you can get with the signature, and still give you, you know, all that bass. But overall, bass just ends up coming off as exaggerated, slightly one-dimensional, lacks the liveliness of some other sets in the bass that I enjoy. Mids are full. They're full and smooth and pretty natural, somewhat effortless, but then once you get into like vocals, they start kind of being a little too dull for me, especially female vocals. It's like they don't extend very far. There's good body with them, and there is okay amount of energy, but then there's no like wispiness or intensity, just that little bit of upper end to help define them a little bit more and just give them a little bit more ability to cut through everything. And then when you get to the treble, it's a very similar story there. There's enough treble to, you know, be a little bit more forward than the mids. It gives it a little bit of clarity, just enough clarity to keep everything concise enough to be somewhat enjoyable. But again, just all that sub bass just kind of makes everything a little bit more blunted and rounded than I would like. Treble extends okay. It's not like sparkly or shimmery. It's not going to be, and it's fine. Like it's good. I actually enjoyed, again, the mids and the treble on this set, and would probably enjoy it a lot more if the sub bass was just toned down a little bit, because as soon as anything, especially my usual library, like there's my test tracks, you know, there's like generic audiophile tracks, and then there's my usual library, which is already bass heavy. So like K-pop, rap, hip hop, all that stuff, reggaeton. It's just as soon as bass starts, it can be a little bit of immersion breaking. So it's just too much sometimes. And then it's just like I mentioned before, the bass is too one-dimensional for me. Like it's not bad, but there is a lack of dynamics there. You know, it comes in and it's just a lot, and it's a lot of like the same. There's not very much nuance within the bass itself. So quickly going over text, this is not a tech set. It is more techy than I expected it to be. It actually does an okay job. Soundstage is quite intimate. I would consider it pretty small and closed in, but it doesn't feel as, you know, claustrophobic or cluttered. There is still some separation, because, well, it's more like the sub bass just comes through and there's that big fluff blanket over everything, but everything else, it's fine. It does a good job there. Details are okay, you know, they come through, but they're just soft like the rest of the signature. The edge on the details is not as, you know, defined. So overall, that's basically it. That was my experience with the Scarlet Mini. I think it's a fun set. I think it's worth trying out. Again, this is not a full review, so I'm not going to give it a rating, but I personally would probably not buy it for the price, just on the sound itself, not getting into, you know, build, comfort, accessories, anything. No, that is not taken into account here. We're only going off of the sound. It just feels a little too pricey for what you're getting here, because even just something recently like the Hades, the QKZ Hades, I felt like I was getting a similar experience with some things changed around. Like obviously it wasn't as good quality, but just the base presentation on the Hades, it felt like it had a little bit more, you know, body within the base, a little bit more room, a little bit more dynamic compared to like the Scarlet Mini, where it was just a lot of bass. Even though it was cleaner and better controlled, obviously higher quality sounding, it just didn't do much. It was just like bass on, bass off, bass played, it's on, bass not playing, it's off. That was it. It's just bass, no, yes, no, yes, no. There was no, you know, nuance within it. I still haven't tried the Rose Finch. I know you guys mentioned the Rose Finch before. That might be, you know, an option. I really think more companies need to push out different stuff like this. I feel like these kind of sets are so far and few in between. It's even hard to compare to other stuff. Look at me, I'm comparing like a $700 set to a $50 set right now, because what else have I tried that's even like this? Not much. But there we go. Sound impressions of the Scarlet Mini. Thank you, FatFreq, or whoever let me into the tour. I appreciate you guys letting me check out the Scarlet Mini. If you haven't so already, please consider liking and subscribing. It really helps out the channel, and it helps me get Sunny more treats. If you guys love Sunny, you guys will like this video. You guys will comment that you love Sunny, and you will be subscribed to the channel. If you don't do those things, then you do not love Sunny, and I'm going to tell him right after I'm done recording this video. Thank you, Patreons, for keeping the channel running. Thank you to our YouTube members for helping out as well. I am Awesome Danny, and until next time, you stay awesome, friends. Bye.